everybody. It's me, Heather Nichols, for the Tailored Expressions Live. It is February 20th. I'm going to flip up my chat here so I can see who is with us today, connecting to YouTube and connecting from Facebook. Good morning, everybody. Susan, I see you from Silver Bay checking in. It is warmer today. I woke up and looked at my weather app and it was 0. And we have not started the day above 0 for like so long. Now I know some of our cold weather is moving across the country that we just dealt with, but the weatherman yesterday said yesterday was probably I don't remember how many days that we broke -10 wind chill. We actually went above that. It's been very, very cold. And so today, even though it's like 0, I think the high, I'm trying to remember what the high was, but it's not very much. It's going to feel balmy out there today because we have had such cold, cold weather. So yes, good morning, good morning, everybody. My mouth isn't doing words this morning. Good morning, Rachel and Kimberly and Karen and Donna and Kelly. Yes, Kelly, I'm back. I was here a few weeks ago, and then you guys saw Susan last week. So it's almost the end of February, everybody. It is flying by. Now I see all the people talking about the snow. Most of the country right now has more snow than we do on the ground. We have snow on the ground, but it is nowhere near what we are used to having. And it's going to be this weekend into the mid to high 30s, and next week is going to be in the 40s. There's rain predicted. So I think we're going to lose some of our snow here. It's just been it's going to be a wild swing of weather. So it's going to feel really warm. 40 degrees, we're not going to want a jacket. So yeah, it's been super cold. I know a lot of you are dealing with the cold and the snow. Perfect weather for staying inside and crafting and spending time with me today on the live. So I hope that I'm bringing you a little bit of joy, even though winter can be a little bit harsh. And when you start hitting like February, we're used to snow in Minnesota. We sometimes get it into April, sometimes even May, depending on the year. So we're used to these long winters, but I know a lot of you aren't used to all this snow and cold that we're getting. Yes, everybody is talking about the snow and the cold and everything. Yes, we're all freezing. Bundle up. Stay inside. Do your crafts. So, good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me today. I'm just going to give you a little update. If you joined me a couple weeks ago, you know we had some big things happening in our family, and the big thing being, if you don't know, my oldest daughter, Tacey, has significant disabilities, and we have been keeping her supported throughout her life. And the biggest new change is she got a spot in a group home. We didn't expect this to happen now. We knew this was in the plan for her. And so last week we moved her into her group home. So actually probably when you guys were watching Susan last week was about the time that we were starting that process to get her all settled in. So she's settling in good. It has not been, there's been a few bumps. It's not been bad. It's been emotional. I'm not going to lie. We have been caretaking for her for almost 25 years now. And so this is very different for us to not have that piece going on a day-to-day basis. So we've been over to see her lots. It was interesting seeing her reaction to all of her stuff over in her new room. But she's doing great, everybody. And her roommates are great, and she's all set up with all of her normal routines. You've heard me talk about her day program, and she's going on with that as well. So, like I said, big transition, big adjustment for everybody, but we're all doing good. So thank you for all of your wishes. I got some messages sent to me. Thank you for those. It's so nice to be thought about when things like this are going on in your life. It's not something that everybody experiences, this sort of thing that we're going through right now. So, but it is definitely, I don't know. It's been, we've known this is coming for a long time. And so it's kind of surreal that it's actually here. So yeah, crafting has kept me sane. You guys know I do lots of crafts, my cross stitch, my knitting, my stamping. And so that has been something that has carried me through. Anytime things are, transitions, good or bad or whatever, crafting is always something that I turn to. And I know a lot of you are like me. So let's talk about what's going on at Tailored Expressions Land this week. It's a quieter week, but not so quiet, right? So we have the Combo Club sign up happening this week. So if you have taken part of some of our clubs in the past, we have a monthly club that happens during a portion of the year, and the signups are right now. This year, the combo club is a layering stencil set with a coordinating embossing folder. I've seen peeks of some of the designs. You guys are in for a real treat with what is coming your way. So you can sign up for a 6-month option or a 3-month option. Both of those are on the website, and we have pricing for United States and we have pricing for international shipping as well. So check that out. If you sign up for the combo club, don't put anything else in your order. Just do the combo club, because that is going to be the easiest, smoothest way for us to get our order to you. So make sure if you're signing up for that, that is the only thing you are signing up for. Also, if you sign up for the 6-month membership, I'm sure that you have heard that there is a gift involved. And I have a little bit of tea as far as the gift. So I'm going to pop up a graphic so you can take a look and get a feel for what this gift is going to be. If you do the 6-month membership and get the gift, it will come with your first combo club order. So it will come with that first order. So here it is. Are you ready? Here is your sneak peek to what the gift is going to be. So if you like the All Planned Out die collections 1 and 2, there is a 3rd one coming, and that one is going to our 6-month combo club memberships. So that will arrive with your first order if you join the 6-month combo club combo club. I don't know what else is going to finish with that. I'll flip up to the top again. If you signed up for a 3-month and then you're feeling like, ooh, I want that gift, contact customer service. Amy and Meredith, I'm sure, will be happy to help you get that set up so that you can get that free gift with your first combo club order. So looks like you guys are kind of excited about that. And I know that, let's see, I have it written down here. I'm looking for my paper. The combo club signups go through the 25th of February. So that is actually coming up pretty darn quick. Like I said, we're on the 20th of February right now. This month is flying by fast. It always feels like that though. January is like long and then February is like short, right? So, yay! Lots of you saying you joined the 6-month club, so you're gonna have the gift coming your way. So that is coming. And then also the other thing going on this week is we have curated 2 Easter bundles for you that are on sale this week at a reduced price. I think it's 25% off. And there is the little treat box bundle, and there is a card bundle. And Taylor created with the treat bundle on Tuesday. So if you missed that, you can go and rewatch the live and see the cutest little carrot treat boxes that you can create to go in your Easter baskets. And I'm going to create with the card kit today. So let me flip up a graphic so you can take a look at the 2 bundles. There is the Easter treat bundle, like I said, the carrots there, and that is what Taylor created on Tuesday. Now the card that you see there is not the card we're going to create today, but that is the products we're going to use. We're going to use the Awesome Easter stencil and die and the Hello Spring sentiment set. So we'll take a look at that in just a few minutes. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to flip you back up to the top because I'm sure you also want to know what's going on next week, right? Charlie's popping in with the Combo Club links too if you are interested in signing up and want a quick click to get over there. So the sneak peeks. So next week is the last week of the month, which means it's time for our card making kit of the month, and this one is one that I designed as well. And I'm just going to say, if you liked the Piece Patterns kit that we released last year, you're probably going to like this one too. It involves a new shape, a very familiar, well-loved shape, the circle. So if you're interested in creating patterns with circles, I've got a couple of sneaks for you, and I think you're going to like how we kind of gave you some really unique ways to create these designs easily for your projects. So there is a peek for you of one card created with the card kit. And there are some add-ons, of course, that you can use as well. And there is your second card with the card kit. This one is one of my favorites. So you're going to see more sneak peeks of that card kit coming this weekend. I can guarantee there's probably going to be a walkthrough video. If you are a member of the Fans of Tailored Expressions Facebook page, you will see those sneak peeks this weekend. And of course, we have other places on our social media that you're going to see peeks as well. So then next Tuesday at 9 a.m., that kit becomes available. It is one of those things where we have a limited supply. Once it's gone, it's gone. And I think this one's going to be a good one. I really, you know, the kind of calming Zen thing. If you did the piece patterns and were creating patterns with the squares and the triangles, you're going to really like this one. So yes, it's going to be fun. Spill more, please, Cynthia said. That's all I'm going to give you right now. There's going to be more coming this weekend. Like I said, watch our social media. Make sure you're part of the Fans of Tailored Expressions Facebook page. And like I said, that kit will go for sale 9 a.m. on Tuesday. And Taylor will be live at 10 a.m. to show you all the things. So, super fun things coming up. March is going to be fun too, you guys. It's going to be really fun. Because I think, well, actually, that first week in March, Virtual Stamp Joy is coming. So we are going into Craftland. I think March is National Craft Month, if I'm remembering correctly. And yeah, we have all the things to back that up coming your way. So, all right, so let's go back to what we're going to create today. Like I said, we're going to create with the card bundle, which includes the awesome Easter stencil. I designed that stencil and the coordinating die, and then the Hello Spring Sentiment set. I actually created with the awesome Easter set last year, and I don't know if you guys remember, but if you join me on the live, I don't have a link for it, but I'm sure somebody can pop that in there, but I'll give you a peek of the project that I showed and we also created with this set. So the card that has the border across the bottom with the Happy Easter is the one that I created on the live, but I also shared all of the different projects. There are some cute projects there to inspire you with the awesome Easter set. And I've got even more inspiration happening today because we're going to do some creating and I have a few extra cards to share. Sarah says every month is craft month. Yes, I definitely agree, but I think everybody else who doesn't know, they kind of try to like throw it out there to just do that. Oh, Charlie says 2025 is National Craft Year. I'm declaring it now. I think you're right. I think, well, every day has craft day at my house, right? All right, so I'm going to flip you to my camera down and we're going to take a look at the cards I have to share and the project that we're going to create today, and I'm really excited. So here we go. So I've got 3 more cards to share with you today, created with that awesome Easter set and using the sentiments from these Hello Spring stamp set. I'll show you the sets in just a second, but I've got this card with all the cute little images that I created with the stencil to create this background on this card. I filled up the rustic watering can with flowers to create this card for spring. And this is the card we're going to create today with the little Easter basket and the bunny, and then we're going to tuck the little Easter eggs right all around that basket. So, are you ready to get crafting? I'm excited to show you how I made this Easter basket because it turned out pretty cute, I think. So, the other thing you're going to notice too is I just created a set of cards. I used a lot of the same products on the cards. You can see the background here, which we're going to stamp with later. This was just really fun to just sit and create and use all of the bits and pieces to create the different cards that I have to share. I do have the one card we created on the live last year with me as well. So this is that card, and we did the cute little eggs and flowers and we foiled on the panels, and I'm trying to remember that set. I had it right here. Greetings of Spring foil it. Mine is not in the pretty packaging like you get, but that's what I used for the sentiment on that card. And I actually designed it to go with Awesome Easter, but of course you can use these products for so many other things. So let's take a look at the Awesome Easter set. I've got mine stored here in this is the extra large bag because that fits the stencil. So it has one stencil like this, and there are 2 parts to this stencil, which we'll talk about. We'll have one part to do the kind of a base layer, and then to add the details with the second layer. on one stencil. And then there is the awesome Easter die, and you can cut all of these little pieces out at the same time with that die, which is awesome because then you have lots of fun pieces to use for your projects right away. I even have lots of pieces that are left over from other projects stored. I keep them right with my set, so if I want to create and I have these in here, sometimes I just take this and I start playing with this. So for these projects, I wanted to do a lot softer palette of color. I did something a little bit brighter when we created before with it. So I kept things pretty pastel for this one. Here is the Hello Spring Sentiment set. So there's a stamp set and the coordinating dies, like there. And there's also a foilet pack available as well. So this is not included in the bundle, but you can also get that, and that will work with the dies, and obviously then you could foil your sentiments. But I think the bundle just has the stamp set, the dies, and then the awesome Easter die and stencil. Okay, so let's start crafting. We're gonna set these aside here. Like I said, this is the card we're gonna create today, but we gotta do a little stenciling to get our eggs ready. So when I start off with the awesome Easter stencil, and I have a couple more stencils like this. There's Awesome Blossoms and Awesome Autumn, and then we have the Awesome Easter. Everything is awesome. And I like to cut my piece of cardstock the 3 by 6 inches. So like our stencils are 6 by 6, and I like to cut it 3 by 3 because what we're gonna do is we're gonna stencil and then we're gonna slide it over and to do the details. It's just keeping everything really nice and compact on one stencil. So you could cut a 6 by 6 piece and put it behind the stencil, but then make sure you mask off this part so that you don't get ink when you're stenciling on the rest of your cardstock. So to avoid that for me, that's why I cut these 3 by 6. I like to hold my stencils in place with pixie spray. You can use tape or the magnets or whatever you want. This is my favorite way to hold my stencils in place, and I'm just going to spray a thin layer on the back side of the stencil. Okay, so I'm going to line up that left-hand side of the stencil right over the top of the piece of sugar cube cardstock. And if you'll notice here, we've got all of the openings that we're going to stencil in, but there's a couple of guides, and you're going to want to make sure you hit some color in there because that's going to help you line up that second layer, and it's also going to help you line up the die as well. So I'm going to let's start with the carrots on the bottom, and I'm going to do those with peaches and cream. I'm using my Bitty Blender brushes, and I've got a couple of the detail brushes as well. And let's start going. All right, so I'm going to stencil those carrots in peaches and cream, and I'm just going to use the same color once I lay down kind of a base layer of color. I'm going to go over the top part of the carrots with just a little bit more pressure to add just a touch of shading. I'm not going to do too heavy of shading on this project. I want everything to be pretty soft, pretty light and soft. And granted, we're not going to use the carrots on our project, but we might as well stencil everything because we can save that for other projects. I'm also going to do one of the eggs in the peaches and cream. Now, when you're stenciling to do kind of mass production, you could do stencil this several times and just do all your eggs, peaches and cream, and then do the next layer where they're all yellow, the next layer where they're all pink. But I'm going to do multiple colors. It is easy on this one because these are set a little farther apart. You could also mask them off as well. So if you do have a little project, you can play with multiple colors on that stencil. All right, now we're gonna do a yellow egg, and we're gonna use banana cream pie for that one, the light yellow. And I'm gonna do a couple of flowers in the yellow too. I've got some pieces cut from when I was creating the projects that I'm sharing with you today. So we do have some pieces. I have them over in this little dish right here. So I have some extras to play with. All right, let's do a green egg with mint julep. And then we'll be using this color a little bit more on the second layer when we're adding leaves to the carrots and stems and leaves to the flowers. But we want a green egg too. Let's see, and then I've got confetti cake for kind of a little turquoise tealy egg. And then the last one is going to be, I'm actually going to do my flowers, the confetti cake too. I have quite a few pink flowers in my little dish here, so let's do a couple confetti cake tulips, or whatever flower they are. And then my final egg is going to be pink, and we're going to do that with pink champagne. So again, I'm using those bitty blender brushes, perfect for doing this stencil with the multiple colors. And then again, I have to hit those little guides, so I'm making sure I got that with the pink. I'm going to get that down here as well. It's not terrible if you miss it, but it definitely makes it easier to use the guides to line everything up. Okay, so there's our first layer. We've got kind of our base colors down, and now we're going to slide the stencil over to do the right side, and we're going to use the guides, but also your eyes to kind of see how these are lining up. Watch the eggs, probably the closest. You want those to be lined up right on the, oop, I had it and then I slipped. Lined up right on those eggs. I gotta slide just slightly this way. Right there. Okay, so let's do the green down here, and that is going to be that mint julep again to add color to those carrot tops and also the stems and flowers. And the stems and leaves on the flowers, not the stems and flowers. We did the flowers already. But I love how this is so easy to get little multicolored images so quickly. And a bunch of them. And of course you could use these little bits and pieces to accent other projects, Easter, spring, however you want. I'm going to add a little bit of shading. Where is my, this must be the one I was using right here. We're going to use spearmint to add just a touch of shading to the greenery. Like I said, I'm not going too crazy with this. I just want a touch. I don't want super bold shading. I want soft and springy and Eastery. But it definitely adds a little bit more interest and depth if you just do that touch of shading. So I'm using the detail brush to do that. Now for up here, we're going to layer color on top of these eggs to add patterns. And when you are using a two-step stencil where you're layering color on top, you definitely need to think about how you're layering your color, because obviously I don't want to do yellow ink on top of the green egg because that's not going to show up. So you have to think about colors that are going to stand out on top of them. You could use other darker colors on top, and you can experiment with what colors work together. What I'm going to do today is I'm choosing colors that are a couple shades darker than the base color of the egg to kind of give us that two-toned look. So on the mint julep egg, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stencil the polka dot design on there with the spearmint ink. And the other thing too, if you go too quickly and layer these colors, like if you've got something you just stenciled like immediately before and stencil right on top of it while the ink is still wet, you're going to have ink spreading, a lot more ink bleeding. So give it a minute before you start stenciling on top. And you don't need a ton of time. Like you saw, I stenciled my colors, I flipped my stencil over, I stenciled the leaves down here, and now I'm adding the color on top of the eggs, and that is plenty of time. All right, on this banana cream pie egg, we're going to do pineapple. So that'll give us that little bit darker tone on top of that light yellow. Pineapple has a touch of an orange lean to it, for sure. It's one of my favorite yellow colors in the TE rainbow. All right, so there's our little zigzaggies on that egg. For the peaches and cream egg, we are going to use candy corn, which candy corn is a little bit more bold of a color. So I'm just using a pretty light touch to get that color in there. I'm not going, you know, super hard pressure or anything like that. I just need a little bit of that orange to add the pattern onto that peaches and cream. Then on our pink egg, this is the pink champagne. I'm going to use guava. Again, this is a pretty intense color, so I'm using a fairly light touch to add that guava color on top of that egg. Like I said before, if you're making lots of these, you could do all these eggs the same color, and that would actually probably go quickly, especially if you're doing a lot. But if you're doing a small project and you want a few multiple colors of eggs, this is the way to go. And finally, we have our confetti cake egg, and I'm going to add the pattern on top of that with Cookie Monster. Just like that. Let me get the edge piece a little bit. Okay, so let's take a look at what our final images look like, peeling that stencil off. So cute, so much fun. I love how quickly this comes together for the project. So we're gonna do a little splattering. You know that I love to add a few splatters to things. You definitely don't have to, but that's just something I like to do. I'm using that chocolate truffle liquid watercolor. And I also like to use Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed-Proof White ink. It just adds kind of a fun texture. I like things a little bit rustic. I'm picking that up with a water brush, and I'm just splattering that over the top of the images. A few more on the eggs. Grabbing a paper towel so I can clean out my brush. You could use a regular paintbrush and water to do this. And then the second color I'm splattering with is that Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed-Proof White ink. I'm going to pick up some color and kind of work it right in the lid right there. You could do this on an acrylic block as well. And then adding a few splatters, a few white splatters. Come on. There we go. Sometimes it's being fussy. I am going to use the white to splatter when we get to our Easter basket here, but I want to do this first, and we're going to do some die cutting. So I am not totally done splattering yet, but I am going to clean my brush out because I don't like to leave that white ink in my brush. It'll gum up your brush. I mean, eventually you need to replace a brush every so often, but this will save your brush and make it last longer. Okay. So let's just set this aside here, and we're going to grab the die cut machine so we can do a little bit of die cutting. Just going to let those splatters dry just a minute on our piece over there. And so let's cut out the Easter basket and the bunny. So to create the Easter basket, I'm going to cut that out of pink champagne cardstock. You could create baskets in all different colors. And what I did to create my basket is I was looking through the dies of what would work, and I came across these dies that are kind of designed to go with the garden variety. All the ways you can use them for so many things. And I picked out this Rustic Pail right here. And I thought that looks like a good basket. So that's going to be our bottom of our basket. And then I wanted a handle on my basket, so I went and looked through my dies. And the Arch Nouveau dies are perfect. They will fit perfect on the top of this basket. Now, if you don't have the Arch Nouveau dies, I would look at this. Now, I didn't look at this too close, but I'm sure there's probably a good combination of arches. Looks like maybe these two would give you a nice basket handle as well. And I just taped, I lined them up and I just used some tape to tape them together so it's going to cut out this little frame. And I would do the same with the arch stacklets as well. I'd pick the two that you're going to use, line them up and tape them together. If you're doing a bunch of handles, keep them taped together so that you can cut out multiple handles. All right, so we are going to cut these out of pink champagne cardstock. Just like that. Whoop. So there we have, this is going to be our handle and this is going to be our basket. We're going to end up trimming these little handles off the side. You could leave those as well. They don't bother me too much, but I did trim them off to create my Easter basket. Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside. We have a couple other things to die cut as well. I have a frame. This is from the Frame and Frame 2 dies. I'm using the largest scalloped frame here. And I'm just gonna cut that out of sugar cube cardstock. Might as well get all our die cutting done here while we've got the machine out. And my plates are a little askew. Hold on. And we'll just send that through. There's our frame. We're going to use this later on our card. Just cut out of sugar cube cardstock. And then we're also going to cut out, we actually use that inner frame piece. We're going to cut out our bunny shape, and this is from the, let me find my die. Where are you? How can I lose it? It was all right here. There it is. From the Iconic Easter Die Collection, there's a chick and there's a bunny. So we're going to use the bunny and cut that out for our basket. And I'm cutting that out of sugar cube cardstock as well. There is our bunny. Set that with my basket. And then I think we just need to cut out our eggs and flowers using the awesome Easter die. Oop, sorry about that, bumping the camera. So let's take our panel here that we stenciled and splattered, and we're gonna line up those guides. I'm gonna grab my Scotch removable tape here. We're gonna line up those guides right in those squares, and you can also look and see that all of the images are lined up. This one I'm going to wrap the tape around it, so I'm going to have some tape on to peel off the back if I run into that on there. Make sure we're all good, and then we're going to send that right through the die cut machine. Cut out all of our little pieces, all of our awesome Easter pieces, our carrots, our flowers, and our eggs. This one has the tape on the back. Peel that off. Little tulips. Like I said, if you're doing a bunch at a time, stencil up a bunch of panels, do a bunch of cutting, you're going to have a nice little pile of Eastery pieces to use for your projects all together. So there they all are. I've got a piece of tape sticking to me here. Look how cute these are. How fun. All right. Let's set these aside. I think we are done die cutting for our card because I have my sentiment ready to go. We're at the end. Hold on. This tape is just sticking all over. That usually doesn't happen. All right. Let's go ahead and put our basket together next. I'm going to add just a touch of shading to this basket with some pink champagne ink. Just a little bit of shading. And actually, let's trim off these pieces. So I'm really literally just cutting off the little baskets. I'm just lining my scissors right up with that straight edge on the piece and cutting that off. So there is our base of our basket. And actually, I was thinking about this. You could, even if you wanted more of a baskety look, you could weave some little piece strips of cardstock through there. That would also be really cool. What a cool detail to add. Use our little easy strips to do that. I'm not doing that today, but that's something to think about. Let's stick this together. I think the thing I liked about this frame is I literally just put adhesive right down this bottom part here. And that was the perfect way to stick this basket together. I mean, right? Look at that. That is the perfect Easter basket. So you might already have these dies in your collection. If not, and you need to make baskets, there you go. All right, let's do a little bit of shading on this Easter basket with some pink champagne ink. I'm just gonna go around the edges, kind of on the bottom. Up the sides. Right along the top of this basket. Just kind of along the handle a little bit here. Not too much, but just enough to add just a little bit more definition and depth to the basket. And as this dries too, the color will smooth out on that cardstock. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to splatter this just with the white. Let's go back to that Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White ink. And again, I'm going to pick that color up and I'm working it right in the lid, and I'm just going to add a few white splatters to that basket. Not too much, just a few. All right, clean my brush out, get that white ink out of there. And then let's go ahead and move this, and I'm just going to wipe my work area down just a little bit, get some of those white speckles out of there. Let's set this aside, and then let's create the background for our card. We're going to stamp our background for our card. I've got my Mini Misty, and we're using the Checking In background. I believe this was new last year as well. I love the Mini Misty for stamping background stamps. Those stamps fit right in there perfectly, like that. And then I'm going to be stamping on this whole piece of cardstock, so I'm not going to use the magnet, so I'm just going to add a little adhesive to my Misty. And then we'll make sure that the cardstock is going to be completely covered, so I'm just going to set that piece of cardstock on the stamp, and then close my Misty, the back side, and press, because then that will transfer it to the perfect spot on my Misty so that the image is going to completely stamp onto that toffee piece of cardstock. Okay, so let's ink this up. I'm using Sugar Cube ink on toffee, one of my favorite stamping combinations. Ink that up. Grab my Just Press tool, stamp that onto the cardstock. Usually I need a few impressions. Oh yes, we need more than one impression for sure. I want that white to stand out and be nice and crisp on that toffee. Take a look there. Sometimes I do a little bit of a heel press, or press with the heel of my hand on areas that seem to be a little bit ghosty. Let's do another layer. This is common for me to stamp with the white ink multiple times. That's the beauty of the Misty, that you can stamp repeatedly and get that perfect crisp image. Pam, notice that I splatter rogue. I am a pretty rogue splatterer. I don't have a splatter box. I think I would be tripping over my splatter box all the time. All right, I'm gonna add just a little bit of ink in that middle part. My edges look great, my middle does not. Let's give that a little extra attention. And I'm just gonna do this time. Sometimes you have stamps and ink combinations that this is what happens. And really our basket is gonna be in the middle. I like a little bit of a rustic look, it's okay. This looks pretty good. All right. Okay, I'm gonna set that aside. And let's kind of start putting this card together. I need to just get a paper towel. I have a few drops of water left on my basket here. So I'm gonna add the frame. Remember I have my frame I cut out with the frame and frame 2 die. I'm gonna do that first on my card. Get that where I want it to go. I'm just using my tape runner. You could use liquid glue, whichever adhesive is your favorite. I know lots of you like the glue press. I don't have the glue press yet. I do want to get it. Every time I go down to the studio, I definitely take a look at it. I'm just eyeballing it to center it onto this piece of cardstock. I'll just kind of lay this out. So my basket is going to go about here, and then I'm going to want my bunny in my basket. So let's go ahead and add that bunny in there. I'm just going to put adhesive right behind that main part there so we can tuck that bunny into the basket. That looks about right. And then I'm going to tuck a few eggs around the bunny. I'm going to stick one maybe here. We're going to stick them down in place here in just a second, but I just kind of want to get them where I want them to go. So I have about 3 eggs in that basket. Again, I think if I stick a little bit of adhesive right behind there, that will catch that egg right there. And then this one, I'll put a little adhesive on the back, and I think even this yellow one too, because that'll catch on that bunny. I want this yellow egg to stand up just a little bit. Then I'm going to tuck this peach one down just a little bit. Give it that little dimension. And then we're going to stick this onto the card. I'm using the 1x3 foam strips. I have pieces that are kind of already cut up from when I was putting on other projects. So I'm just going to add those to the back of my bunny and basket to get those in place. And then the handle up here, I'm just going to do adhesive, so that's just going to sit directly on the card. It's okay to have multiple dimensions on your card, and just the top of my bunny's ears too. Just kind of run my finger here when I have the little glue dots from that tape runner on there. Let's peel that paper off. set that basket in there. Make sure I've got it about centered. That looks pretty good. Look how cute this is coming together, so cute. Then let's do a bigger egg down here. Maybe let's do this blue egg. And I want another smaller egg, and I ran out, but remember I have my little dish of eggs, which I have now cannot find. Where did you go? There we are. Over here. So let's find another little egg color that'll work down here. I think I haven't used a pink egg. I'm not sure if I've got a pink egg in here to use. I can use a different color. I could use this yellow one. Let's see what else I've got in here. Oh, there's a pink one. Then I'll have all my colors represented. And I am going to just add a little bit of adhesive to this egg to kind of pop them together. Like that. And let's have this stand up just a little bit, so I'm adding the foam adhesive onto the back of the eggs. So they're sticking up just a little bit more from that basket, just like that. So cute for creating just this fun little Easter scene on there. And of course I have some fun little bits and pieces that I can use for other projects. So I'm going to gather up my other extra pieces and stick them right in there so that I have them ready to go. Probably what I'll do is I'll add them into my little awesome Easter folder bag, storage bags, so that they are there for when I want to create more Easter projects. So this is the sentiment we're going to use. And again, this is from that Hello Spring set. So I stamped this sentiment with the Nocturne VersaFine Clear ink. I'll pull it out so you can see the ink. So that's what I stamped it in on a piece of sugar cube cardstock. And then I cut out a few extra layers. So if you take a look here, you can see this is a little bit thicker. I've got 3 layers of cardstock. So I have a nice little kind of chipboardy weight sentiment to set onto my basket. All right, so let's do a little bit of adhesive. I really just need it in that center part because these little tails are going to go off the edge of the basket. And then let's set that right across. And of course, there's so many different sentiment options for you to use. I love this little cursive style sentiment in the set. We have a few other sentiment sets that have, I think there's a Valentine one for sure, but have like the more traditional fonts, more the serifed and sans serif fonts, but then also include these fun little script options, and I love that. And I love to have the different options in the set. Okay, so let's do our final touch. Well, we have to add this actually to a card base, so we should do that next because we're going to add embellishments, and it's hard to add embellishments. So I have a top fold sugar cube card base. This is that heavyweight one that you can get in a package. I love them. I don't have to cut. I don't have to score. I just take it out of the package and fold it up and it's ready to go. Definitely a good basic to have. So I'm going to add the adhesive to the card base. And then let's add our panel. I've got some extra adhesive right in the middle of my glass mat here. I like to line up the top of my panel with the top of my card base. So then it's perfectly lined up on there. So we've got it on our card base. And then we're going to add just a little embellishment on there. These are the bits and pieces clay flowers. I can't remember if they're just called clay flowers or white clay flowers. Clay flowers something. How cute these are. Perfect for your Easter projects. I used them on all 3 of the cards that I showed you. Let me show you what I did. So we're going to sprinkle them down the bunny basket here. I'll do that in just a sec, but I added just a few kind of sprinkled throughout the flowers on this one. And then I kind of incorporated these tiny flowers into my little background panel where I just arranged all of the little icons across that piece, that background piece, and then put the little flowers kind of in between. So there's a couple ideas for you for using those cute little flowers. Like I said, we're gonna sprinkle our flowers kind of down the design. I think it's very fun. I mean, you absolutely don't have to add the embellishment, but just look at the extra detail and interest that creates on your card. I have a rogue egg escaping my basket. I'll have to stick that down. Okay, so let's get these flowers on here. And I'm gonna use my other card kind of as a guide. I spend so much time arranging these tiny little embellishments down the card, so I am gonna spare you that. And I am going to kind of copy what I did before. We have little white stars, we have little white hearts. Obviously you can use rhinestones and things like that, but there's some cute little basic shapes to use on your card like this. I think I have one more down here. I think my favorite out of those little shapes, I love the hearts and the flowers. I think we have clouds. We did at one point anyway. But the stars are perfect because they're perfect for birthday, they're perfect for baby cards, they're perfect for Christmas and holiday cards. You just can't go wrong. All right, so we're gonna put these in place with some liquid adhesive. My bottle of multimedia matte is getting down there. I'm gonna be switching to a new bottle soon. And then I have my Embelly Jelly pick and place tool to help me pick up my tiny pieces. You can use whatever liquid adhesive is your favorite. Okay, let go of that one. I know the glue press will also work wonderful for gluing. My Embelly Jelly must be extra sticky. I didn't do anything special to it, but it is grabbing all of my little pieces a little extra tight. All right, there's that last one. Let's see, I got all of the... Oh, I think I need one more flower over here. Hold on, hold your horses. Like something's not right. I'm looking at my original card and I'm like, something is different. It's like hidden pictures. What's the difference? Here, I'll lay them side by side. You guys will see it right away. I missed one flower. That one right there. Let's get that in there. And there we go. Look how cute. I love the eggs. You can create so many fun Easter scenes with that. Here's actually both of them. With my runaway egg here. Here, let's take care of that right now. I'm gonna stick you in place with some adhesive. It almost looks like I didn't glue it before. I just tucked it in there and forgot about it. So good thing I caught it. So cute. Oh, so much fun, you guys. I'll remind you of the other two cards. I've shown you these a couple of times as well. Give you some inspiration for that. So that is it. Let me flip you up to the top. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had so much fun crafting Easter cards using that awesome Easter stencil. This is the Easter card bundle that you can get right now on sale this week to get your Easter crafting going. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you were inspired. And again, thanks for joining me this week. Have a great weekend. If you are in Virtual Stamp Joy, I believe there's an unboxing video coming up very soon. And I'll see all of you who are going to be at Virtual Stamp Joy in a couple of weeks. So thank you.